the warrior of heaven, the story of Saint Michael in the beginning. The heavens were a realm of perfect peace, a place where light shone brighter than any earthly star, and harmony reigned over all creation. The angels, mighty and pure, existed in eternal devotion to their Creator, serving Him with an unyielding faithfulness. Among them was Michael, the archangel, a being of extraordinary strength, wisdom, and beauty. His wings shimmered with the radiance of the divine light, and his heart beat with unwavering loyalty to God. Michael was not alone in his greatness. There were many other angels, but among them was one who stood out above the rest. Lucifer, once the most glorious of all angels, radiated beauty and power. He was a being of immense strength, favored by God and beloved by all. But over time, Lucifer's heart grew heavy with pride. He began to believe that he was not only equal to God, but superior to Him. His beauty, his wisdom, and his strength became a source of inner rebellion. Why should he serve when he was so powerful, so glorious? Why should he be second to anyone? Whispers of rebellion spread through the heavenly realms like a shadow creeping over the light. Lucifer gathered followers angels who too grew dissatisfied and jealous of their Creator's sovereignty. They sought to overthrow God's rule, to cast down the one who had created them all. And in this rebellion, the great battle for the heavens would soon be fought. It was then that Michael, the faithful warrior, stood firm against Lucifer's growing insurrection. Michael had always known his place, to serve God and uphold His will. The thought of challenging God, of placing himself above the Creator, was foreign to Michael's pure heart. With unwavering resolve, he took up his sword, a weapon of divine justice, and prepared for the war that was inevitable as the rebellion reached its peak. The forces of Lucifer, now known as Satan, gathered their ranks. Their army, once filled with light and grace, had been twisted by pride and darkness. They were determined to seize heaven by force, but they would not succeed. Michael, alongside the angels loyal to God, rose to meet the challenge. With his mighty wings unfurled, his armor shining with the brilliance of heaven, and his sword drawn, Michael led the heavenly hosts into battle. The battle was not just physical, it was a struggle of wills, of righteousness against rebellion, of light against darkness. The skies above were filled with the clash of angelic swords, the thunder of heavenly creatures in flight, and the burning light of God's justice. Yet, even as the forces of darkness fought ferociously, Michael stood as the rock upon which the tide of battle would turn. With each blow, Michael did not just strike with force, but with a righteousness that was unyielding. He called out, "Who is like God?" His voice rang through the heavens, echoing with the divine authority that no rebellion could withstand. The words were more than a question. They were a declaration, for there was none like God, and no being could stand in opposition to Him. As the battle raged, Satan's forces began to falter, their power waning in the face of Michael's unwavering strength. Finally, the moment came when Lucifer himself turned to face Michael. His eyes burned with hatred, but there was fear in them too. Michael's gaze, however, was steady and shaken by the darkness before him. With the sword of God's justice raised high, Michael did not strike at Satan directly. Instead, with a voice filled with divine power, Michael uttered the command, "The Lord rebuke you." It was not Michael's own power that defeated Lucifer, it was the power of God Himself. At Michael's words, Satan and his followers were cast down from heaven, banished to the darkness of the earth. They had lost the battle, and with it, their place in God's kingdom. Heaven was victorious, but the cost was not small. The peace of the heavens had been broken, and the scars of war would remain forever. Though the rebellion was over, Michael's role was far from finished. He became the protector of God's people Israel. God chose him to stand guard over the nation, to defend it from the forces of evil that would seek to destroy it. As a warrior of heaven, Michael stood ready at the gates, ensuring that the children of Israel would always have a champion to fight for them. He was their guardian, their defender, their angel of protection. In the days that followed, the world below continued to suffer from the effects of Satan's rebellion. But Michael, ever faithful, remained a beacon of strength for all who trusted in God. The heavens had not forgotten the battle that had been fought, and the earth was not beyond the reach of divine protection. Michael's presence was always near, watching over God's people with the same unwavering loyalty that had defined his very existence.